it's me, Julian Greystoke. I have purple lips and a red shirt. They don't go together. That's cool. My shirt today is Lion King, because I'm still a Lion King fangirl. Today we are going to talk about This Savage Song, a book by V.E. Schwab. I have been trying to get into V.E. Schwab. I've been reading Darker Shade of Magic, and I decided I would give This Savage Song a try because it is a young adult book, and I've heard some people say that they like her young adult better than her adult. Very similarly to A Darker Shade of Magic, I was not really into the story until the two leads got together. I think a little problem that V.E. Schwab has is she has trouble with individual characters and making them interesting and engaging, and only when they meet each other and start bouncing off of each other do we actually get some engagement, or at least for me personally. By the way, if you would like to see my review of A Darker Shade of Magic and the second book in the series, whose title I cannot remember, links in the doobly-doo. Future me, do the thing. The monsters in this story are such a cool concept. In this sort of post-apocalyptic world, every violent crime produces a type of monster, and there are like 3 types, I think. However, I feel like this concept was kind of wasted. It could have been so much cooler. The monsters feel really unoriginal. Again, just kind of talking about Schwab in general, and what I'm noticing in her writing is that she takes these really cool concepts and somehow makes them average. Like her magic system in A Darker Shade of Magic, where it seems like it could be really cool, but instead she just kind of does the elemental magic thing that we've seen a million times. Some of these monsters are really unimaginative, like there's one that's essentially vampires. They have like a paragraph where they're like, they're not vampires because the sun doesn't bother them and blah blah blah, and they're vampires. V.E. Schwab. Speaking of these vampires, the character of Sloane, who is one of these vampire monsters, is the most interesting character to me, and I wish he had been utilized more. A big thing that I get from Sloane that I don't get from any of the other characters, including the main monster character, is an interesting concept to potentially explore of a monster whose nature is evil, but he still works for a human. Granted, that human may be evil, but he makes choices that are not all about just fulfilling his sort of biological monster need to feed on people, essentially. Our lead monster character comes from this race of monsters who appear when there is like a catastrophic death event, like a school shooting or a bombing or something where lots of people die. There are only 3 that we know of in this world right now. They are the good monsters. Again, a cool concept that was wasted. We have all of these monsters who everyone believes are evil, but then we get the good guy monsters, and we look through the good guy monsters' point of view, the ones who are there to cleanse the world, the ones who are there to like punish the bad people, and that makes our main character a lot less engaging. He's got the soul pain of, oh, everyone views me as a monster and therefore, what am I? But it would be a lot more meaningful if he was the kind of monster who was actually bad. Like if he was one of the vampire ones. He has to eat people to survive, or eat souls essentially, but he can only eat the souls of sinners. So he's a good guy monster. So his conflict isn't really a conflict. The beginning of this book was very slow, and like the final like half, maybe third, really picked up and was like non-stop action. And while I enjoyed the non-stop action and the constant movement, I would have liked it better if it was maybe spread out through the whole book. There is an overall theme as well in this of music, and some people will enjoy that. I thought that, again, it was pretty shallowly explored, and I don't have a connection to music like some people do. I never played an instrument. I like to sing, but I don't have a deep connection to music, and so that part of it was lost on me. There is a lack of romance in this book, which I'm always happy to see. However, as an asexual person, I did notice one small thing. There is a moment where it is very tenuously implied that August, the monster character, is asexual. It's very quick, it's very small, but we don't get anything like that from our female lead character, so it does imply basically that August might be ace, which is fine except for he's a monster. And if you are asexual, you have already gotten pretty used to and frustrated with all of the asexual characters being robots or aliens or others of some kind. The character of Kate, our human main character, is frustrating sometimes. She's no Delilah Bard. She is one of those stereotypical badass girl characters that I'm finding out more and more V.E. Schwab likes to write. However, she is not to the extreme that Lila is, at least not yet. She does, however, have the fuck y'all, I got mine attitude all throughout, and if that is an annoying character trait to you, then possibly avoid this book. One more random thing that I noticed, because I always do these points in random order, whatever I think of them, is August, at the beginning, makes mention of him having trouble replicating human, like facial expressions, micro expressions, all that stuff, and having trouble understanding them when he sees them. Okay, cool. Some people struggle with reading facial expressions, and that would be a really interesting angle to take with August. And it went nowhere! Like, a couple of times V.E. Schwab remembers to have him struggle a little bit with, like, expressing emotion or whatever, but he goes to this school, he has a little bit of trouble with it, and then bam, he's fine. He reads Kate's expressions constantly, and he never seems to have any trouble expressing himself to her or anyone else. And why did you even put that in the book if you're not going to use it and make it part of this character? So those are my thoughts on this Savage song. I don't know if I will read the second book or not. I am learning more and more that V.E. Schwab might not be the author for me. I have heard people talk about interviews that they saw with Schwab where she talks about how she comes up with the world and story first and then puts the characters in, and to me that is pretty clear because her characters often seem to lack a lot of depth. And as we all know by now, characters are where it's at for me when I'm reading a book. But that's all for now. Remember that I post new videos here Mondays and Fridays. If you like what you saw, don't forget that all my social media is in the doobly-doo. Go check it out, and I will see you guys all again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!